Hello kids! I hope you guys had a great week. Before we do our lesson, let's look at some photos from our week. Thank you so much for sharing your photos. It looks like you guys had a great week. Last Sunday, we got to have children's church in the fellowship hall, and so some of you guys were able to be there and some of you guys weren't. So let's review a little bit about what we talked about there as well as on our video last week. We talked about the fact that Jesus was coming into Jerusalem and all of the people were worshiping him and praising him, and that was completely appropriate because Jesus, as the Son of God, deserves our worship and deserves our praise. And then we're going to be looking over the next couple of weeks at the days between when Jesus came into Jerusalem on what we normally celebrate as Palm Sunday, and then the next week, which is Easter weekend. So there was a week between the triumphal entry and when Jesus died on the cross. So we're going to be looking at a few of the things that Jesus taught during that time. So this week we're going to be reading in the Gospel of Luke, the very last few verses of Luke 20 and the first few verses of Luke 21. This is what it says. And in the hearing of all the people, Jesus said to his disciples, "Beware of the scribes who like to walk around in long robes and love greetings in the marketplaces and the best seats in the synagogue and the places of honor at feast, who devour widows' houses and for a pretense make long prayers. They will receive the greater condemnation." Jesus looked up and saw the rich putting their gifts into the offering box, and then he saw a poor widow put in 2 small copper coins. And he said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put in more than any of them. For they all contributed out of their abundance, but she, out of her poverty, put in all she had to live on." So at first, the very first thing that we see is that Jesus is talking about the scribes, and he says, beware of the scribes who like the places of honor and walk around in flowing robes and fancy things, and who want to be greeted, and they pray these elaborate long prayers as a pretense. That means like as pretend, like they're doing it for show. Beware of them. Now the scribes were part of the Jewish leaders, and so he's telling his followers to be careful because they may on the outside look like they're doing the right thing, but God sees their heart, and it's a pretense. It is that they are doing it for show, not out of their love for God. And then right after that, Jesus looks up and he sees people putting their offering in the offering box. Now, we still do that. We still take up an offering and we give money to the work of the Lord. And he sees these people who are putting in their offerings. And the rich are putting in big offerings of lots of coins or lots of money. And then a widow puts in 2 small coins, like 2 pennies. Just something that's not worth a lot. Now, Jesus could have said, you should have been given more money than that, right? But that's not what he said. He saw her heart, and he saw that she was sacrificing. It says that money is all that she had to live on, and she gave it as a sacrifice. So Jesus said that she gave more than all the other people who were giving lots and lots of coins, because she gave out of her poverty, like she didn't have a lot, and they gave out of their abundance. So let's think, if I have 100 pieces of candy and I give everybody a piece of candy, that's really nice, right? I could give my whole class, everybody a piece of candy. But then what am I going to have left over? Well, I'm going to have probably like 85 pieces of candy left over. So I'm still going to have a lot of candy. Now, what if I only have 10 pieces of candy? That's all the candy that I have. And I have 10 kids in my class. And so I give everybody a piece of candy. But that means that I don't have any left over, right? Which one is the bigger gift? Well, it's the gift that I gave out of my poverty. It's the gift that I gave out not of my abundance when I had lots and lots and lots of extra, but when I gave everything that I had. And that's exactly what Jesus is seeing here in this story, where she, the widow, is giving all that she has. And Jesus says that she gave out of her poverty. They contribute out of her abundance, and that this poor widow has put in more than everyone else. So Jesus, God, sees our heart. He sees our motivation. He knows when we're giving just for show or when we're giving out of our love and sacrifice for Him. So this week, I want to remind us that we need to think about, what is our motivation? That means, why are we doing the things that we're doing? Are we doing them so that the people around us can see us and think that we're nice, we're good? Or are we doing them out of worship for Jesus and sacrifice to Him? We should do everything that we do out of our relationship with Him, not so that other people will see us as a pretense and think better of us. So that's a great thought for us to think about this week. I look forward to looking at the rest of the week that Jesus spent between the triumphal entry and Easter with you guys next week.